The Moto Razr is coming to India and it happens to be the first foldable display phone that I've managed to get my hands on. In today's video, we're gonna unbox the Moto Razr 2019 and see what Motorola has in store for us with their foldable. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and if you do find this video interesting, go ahead, subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get this video started. So this is the Moto Razr box. Looks pretty unique, doesn't it? Almost looks like a trophy, which I guess is what Motorola is shooting for. Take the lid off and we have the Moto Razr itself. Removing that plastic and turning the phone on, a first look at the Moto logo on that flexible display. We then have this other box. This contains a pair of USB-C earphones, braided USB Type-C cable, love that, replaceable ear tips, a 15-watt quick charger, a Let's Get Started booklet, safety information, followed by a USB Type-C to headphone jack converter. Yep, that's right, the Moto Razr doesn't have a headphone jack. Micro SD? Nope, no micro SD either, just dual SIM. Oh wait, it does not have dual SIM, just a single, oh, that doesn't sound right. It does not have a single SIM slot either. It has no SIM slots, it just has support for eSIM functionality. In that way, it just might be a little ahead of its time. Now there is a lot to like and dislike about the Razr, and before we get started with that, there is something unique about this box, and that is the fact that it also doubles as a stand of sorts, and it also acts as an echo chamber. It also amplifies the audio output coming out of the speaker. So anyway, let's start with what else is to like about this phone. This is the phone with a foldable display, right? So you can do this, and this, and this, and you can also do this. And then there is the retro dialer that takes you right back. If you are someone who's ever used the original Razr, this is something that should definitely bring memories flooding right back. Now with foldables, there are two things that can be achieved. One, we can continue to use this similar form factor as of today and manage to cram in even larger displays than ever. That is kind of like what Samsung's done with the Galaxy Fold, almost a tablet in a smartphone form factor. Or we can take in an existing sized form factor and half it by folding it. And that is what Motorola has done here with the Razr. If you're someone who's felt phones have been getting too large these days, then the Razr might just be what the doctor ordered. It's really easy to slip into your pocket. When open, the phone's super thin and the display size is also quite large. This here is a 6.2-inch plastic OLED panel. The resolution is 876 by 2142, resulting in a respectable pixel density of 373 pixels per inch. So technically it's below Full HD+, but the pixel density is kinda okay. The 21:9 aspect ratio here might make it good for media consumption. The display looks good and it doesn't crease much down the center since Motorola has gone for quite a complicated mechanism to avoid exactly that. Instead of the display being folded down the middle, it actually forms a water drop of sorts. Motorola claims that this should improve the longevity of the panel and also avoid creasing. The secondary display outside is 2.7 inches with a 600 by 800 pixel resolution. This is for notifications and also it lets us shoot pictures, so we get to use the rear camera for selfies, which is a nice touch. The display also turns on when we are shooting with the rear camera, reminding us to smile. Motorola claims this should especially be helpful when shooting kids, help keep their attention, help them keep looking at the camera basically, and it makes sense. Additional functionality for this display include controlling music, checking out notifications, replying with canned messages and more. Motorola features like turning on the flashlight with chop or twisting to turn on the camera, they are present and accounted for. Other Razr specific features include waving your hand over the display to check time, date and status. You can change the wallpaper of this external display. The top 6 quick toggles set can also be triggered from this secondary panel to the front. That should definitely come in handy. When you receive a call, you can open the Razr to pick up the call, and when done, just snap it shut to end it. Transitions is also a cool feature. Start something on the external display and flip open, and that continues on the large screen. Now while these are all cool things that the Moto Razr has kind of achieved, this is still pretty much a Generation 1 product and it comes with its fair share of cons. Let's now talk about the cons. The fact that there is no SIM card slot means it is a no-no for a lot of potential buyers. The 2510 mAh battery also feels kinda low. When was the last time we actually saw a 2000 something mAh battery on a phone? That said, from an engineering perspective, Motorola has done well. They've split the battery into two to ensure the phone is neither top nor bottom heavy. But moving on, the screen, since it's plastic OLED, it is more prone to picking up scratches. As of now, the Z Flip is the only phone to have glass covering a foldable panel, so that is something worth noting. Then there is the chip inside. The Moto Razr is powered by the Snapdragon 710 chip, not the 712, not the 730, not the 730G, not the 765, not the 855, not the 865, but the 710 chip, and it's paired with 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. The 710 is not a bad chip though. In fact, we've seen it perform very well on phones like the Realme 3 Pro, the Realme X, the Nokia 8.1, the Oppo K3, and even Lenovo's own K10 Note. Now, what all these phones have in common is that they are priced between 9 to 15,000 rupees. The Moto Razr, on the other hand, is priced at $1,500 US. That means it should probably end up in India at about a lakh or more than a lakh. Now, this is not a phone that is aimed at specs. I get that. That is not what we are paying for. Instead, the price that you're paying for is to live on the bleeding edge of technology. The price you're paying for is for that folding screen, that extra front-facing display, the Razr nostalgia. And that might have been okay back in November when the Razr was announced globally. But now in February, when the Razr is coming to India, there's this other phone that's just been announced, the Galaxy Z Flip. It doesn't have this fancy hinge mechanism or this huge front display or the Razr nostalgia associated with it, but it one-ups the Razr pretty much everywhere else. It's got a standard SIM slot for beginners, it's got a larger display, a higher resolution display, a proper flagship Snapdragon 855 Plus chip, 8 gigs of RAM, double the storage, 256 gigs, UFS 3.0 nonetheless, flagship level rear cameras, a higher capacity 3300 mAh battery, Gorilla Glass covering the display, wireless charging, all this while being 20 grams lighter and $120 cheaper on the wallet. Now, better specs don't always translate to better user experiences, and US prices don't always convert exactly to Indian pricing, but the fact that the Z Flip exists today means the Razr, it looks a little too anemic. At least that is how I feel. But what about you? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, we get to the end of this video. So let me know what you think about the Razr. Do you feel Motorola could have done something differently, or do you still think this is a great phone? It is something you would like to get your hands on. Whatever you feel, go ahead, leave a comment down below. And what else would you like to see me do with this phone? Again, keep me posted. So thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about this video. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.